In the past, you may have been told to put a comma every time that you take a breath. Instead, put commas before and after, or surrounding, middle stuff. This middle stuff might also be called interrupting because it interrupts the sentence with extra information in the form of a word, phrase, or clause. Let's look at a couple examples. Remember that a sentence needs two things to be complete, a subject and a verb. A verb is an action word. In this case, it's is. A piece of writing is never finished. And then we ask of the verb, what is? And in this case, it's a piece of writing. Subject and verb. A piece of writing is never finished. To make this sentence more detailed and interesting, we might add an interrupting word like unfortunately, because I know that is how most students feel, right? We can test to make sure that we have all the commas in the right place by crossing out the middle stuff that we've just added to make sure that the sentence still makes sense. And again, a piece of writing is never finished. Instead of a simple word, we might wish to add a phrase into the middle of our sentence. Having the commas before and after the phrase really guides readers to manage all the parts of the sentence by using vocal intonation. Can you hear it? A piece of writing, many authors will tell you, is never finished. Cross out the middle stuff, and the sentence should still make sense if you've put the commas in the right place. Lastly, we might see a clause added to the middle of a sentence. Remember avoibus? There are other kinds of clauses too, and you can check my list of examples on the page next to this video to find out more about those. If you're using the test by crossing out the middle stuff when you place the commas, you should be able to get the hang of this rule rather swiftly. But wait, there is one exception. Most of the middle stuff we add to our sentences, like the examples we just reviewed, simply add detail and style to our writing. We call them non-essential details because they provide extra information. Sometimes, though, we might think to put commas around extra info, but that info is essential. Look at the examples shown. In the first example, the writer has one brother. So stating that the brother lives in Colorado is merely an aside for your reading enjoyment. In the second example, the writer has more than one brother. So stating that the brother lives in Colorado is essential for the reader to determine who the writer is even talking about. If you put commas in the second example, you're diminishing the importance of the details, implying that the reader could cross it out in their minds if they wanted. And here's one more advanced bit you might need to know. Sometimes you need to, and sometimes you should, upgrade your punctuation. Parentheses imply reading this is optional. A piece of writing, sorry to break it to you, is never finished. Commas imply reading this will give you more info. A piece of writing, unfortunately, is never finished. M-dashes imply read this for dramatic effect. A piece of writing after countless hours of revision and sleepless nights is never finished. And sometimes M-dashes are needed because the middle stuff already includes commas, and we wouldn't want to confuse our readers now, would we? A piece of writing composed by a child, a college student, or a published author is never finished. In summary, and if you are taking notes, here are some little shorthand things that you can write down to help you remember this comma rule. Subject, comma, middle stuff, comma, verb, period. The rest of the shorthand will help you to recall the upgraded punctuation and whatnot. Just remember, when you cross out the stuff between the commas, the sentence should still make sense. You can look at more examples on my website next to this video.